What is this dragon gas deal thing all about, and what's the big fuss about it? How did we go from this to this over here, and why seemingly Trinidad and Tobago has now found itself in the middle of international geopolitics, even though we are best equipped to deal with regional politics? And that's on a good day. Most times we can only deal with local politics, but for some reason we are now caught up in international geopolitics. So let's go through it. We're going to go through the what, the why, and the challenges that we are facing to get this deal up and running. Firstly, what is it? The Dragon Gas deal got its name because the gas we want is located in a field that is called Dragon Field. Don't know who named it, don't care. The point is we want the gas from the field that is called Dragon. Now here the thing, why do we need it? TNT is known as an oil-rich nation, but if you listen closely, you'll often hear them mention oil and gas. And if you look at the numbers, we are now technically more of a gas economy than an oil economy. But when people hear gas, they often think this type of gas, the gas you go to pump in your van, your car, your SUV, God forbid your Honda vessel. But we're not talking about that. When you hear oil and gas, think oil and LNG, liquid natural gas. Little known secret, LNG is the main reason why Trinidad and Tobago is a manufacturing island and the other islands are not. LNG is mainly used in the generating of electricity. Without this, we would have to import it, which means our power generating costs will go up, you'll pay more for current, manufacturing costs will go up, and we'll become uncompetitive, which means we couldn't export Chubby, Buster, Fanta, Solo, whatever else we export to the other islands. On top of that, that $15 Kiss bread that you buy is not going to cost $40 because Kiss has to pay more for current, and they're going to pass that bill on to you. So LNG, very, 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 very important. And it goes without saying, if it's important to us, it is also important to many other countries around the world. Hence the reason why we make money from it. The issue is that Trinidad and Tobago has been in the oil and gas sector for over 100 years, which is longer than we have even been independent for. So, obviously, I don't want to say the oil and gas running out, but things aren't as full as they were before. So we now have to expand our horizons. Because remember, if we run out of LNG, not only are we going to be losing one of our major revenue earners, but we are also going to be losing the thing that makes us a manufacturing juggernaut in the Caribbean. If you have trouble remembering all of that, remember it like this. LNG, good. No LNG, very, 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 very bad. So what then happened, based on what I believe happened, then Energy Minister Stuart Young whispered into the then Prime Minister's ear like, I have a plan, but real money gonna make. And Rowley was like, you sure? Stuart Young was like, you know that's talk shit. So Rowley was like, well, let me move, we sit down here for, we gotta make that money, and they hatched a plan. But what was that plan? Well, our next door neighbor, Venezuela, is an oil giant. It's always said that they have the largest oil reserve in the world or something along those lines. But the thing is, they are primarily oil-based, while we are now gas-based. They never developed their LNG refining and storage and all that. So they have LNG just in the ground, just rest down there doing nothing, just below the sea, essentially sleeping on money. But you know who don't sleep on money? Trinidad and Tobago. And you know who has the LNG capabilities in the Caribbean? Trinidad and Tobago. We have a whole thing, you may have heard of it, called Atlantic LNG, massive plant. Now here the ingenious thing about it. LNG is brought here and leaves here via ships, specialized ships. But also, there are lines connecting some of our gas fields to Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, Atlantic LNG. But here, the even more ingenious part about it, next to our current field, the Hibiscus field, is where the Dragon Gas field is located. And that field has a lot of gas in it. So here the plan. Connect the 18 kilometers pipeline to the two of them, Hibiscus and Dragon, and then pump the gas to Trinidad and Tobago, where we do where I do with it. Give Venezuela their share, we keep our share, and money goes to the flow again. But here comes the challenges, because right in Trinidad and Tobago, we had the then opposition, led by Kamala Busabi-Sessa, watching on and realizing, wait, hold up. If money starts flowing, then we will have an oil boom, but without oil, it will be gas boom. Money will start flowing, the government will look good. We are the opposition, we can't have that. Let's oppose that, which is a good technique and strategy if you are in opposition, but not if you're patriotic. Because the opposition started immediately with they want all the details surrounding the deal, knowing fully well that every oil and gas deal in the history of oil and gas tends to have secrets that the general public and others don't know about. This is not new, it has been happening before and will happen in the future. However, people don't read, so you all were told that it was a secret backdoor clandestine operation taking place and we should oppose it. Secondly, Maduro is a dictator and we should oppose it. In fact, oppose it for opposing its sake because PNM did it and it was a bad deal. But here's the thing, while we only saw the Trinidad and the Venezuela contingent, in the mix as well was Shell. Shell, an international company, was also a part of the mix. So not only did we get permission from the USA to bypass sanctions, keep that in mind, we got permission. It wasn't a backdoor thing where we sneaking and drilling pipe in the night and everybody's sleeping, as some would have you believe. Unfortunately, mainly for us, because we are the biggest losers here, while we were busy making plans to make some money with our closest neighbor, this man regained control of the White House. And he remembered, wait a minute, Venezuela is still my enemy, you know. You see that deal thing? Forget that deal thing. And predictably, the then opposition were more than happy to see the deal fall apart because that means no gas boom, government will look bad, they will take charge, regain control of the situation, and then come in like the hero like, I brought you water. How did we get caught up in international geopolitics? The answer is simple. The Dragon Gas deal would have benefited both Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela. Remember, Venezuela was supposed to get no less than 45%. So while we're making a bag of money, Venezuela were also going to be making money. And America is like, we can't have that. We can't have them. We trying to topple their government and they're trying to enrich them. Put a pause on that. Also, remember, we just discussed how important LNG is not only to Trinidad and Tobago, but to the world. Who controls that controls the money and have the power. Do you think it's a coincidence that right as the USA got involved with this whole deal thing, ExxonMobil decided to pop back up in Trinidad and Tobago? Is it a coincidence? You decide. But ExxonMobil is an American company. This whole deal hangs in the balance because of America. America wants to control power globally, and one of the ways to control that is by controlling energy security for countries. Just saying. Which brings us to today, where everybody is saying that Kamala made an about turn. She never made an about turn. She simply stopped saying what she was saying before election. That's all. The intention was always to continue with Dragon Gas deal because Trinidad and Tobago needs it, but they didn't need it in the hands of the PNM. They wanted to be in control. So say one thing before election and say something else after election. One last thing. The guy from ExxonMobil said this at a press conference.
The PSC negotiations, as I mentioned, moved at record pace. We do this all over the world. Last week I was in London, signed an agreement on Libya on Monday. DC signed Azerbaijan on Thursday, and we'll head to Algeria tonight. And this is among the fastest pace of any of those examples.
And the audience clapped at their own downfall. And here is why I say this. All negotiations don't ever move quickly. That's why it's called negotiations. Whenever a negotiation moves quickly, somebody is getting shafted. The oil companies are in a position of power. Trinidad and Tobago is not in a position of power right now. We need them more than they need us. Guyana was in the same position, which is why they got a shit deal. So saying that this was the fastest doesn't flatter me, because I understand that the only reason why it moved so quickly is because they capitulated quicker than other countries. Which brings me back to the point I made a few weeks ago. Have we been sold out? What are all the terms and conditions of this new deal? What was promised to the USA for this thing to get back up and running? But you know something? We will never know all the details. And you know why? It's funny how we made a full circle and came back to the very thing that started this whole objection many, many years ago. Do as I say, not as I do. It's not good for you, but it's good for me.